We are live.
We are live.
Yeah. And you guys, for once, I am not going to pass the buck for minute to win it because I'm going to do it after I present what the minute to win it's going to be. In the spirit of Valentine's Day, Sam has this really cool idea. So I'm going to not take that one, but instead, I'm going to just ask a general question of both of you. You know the conversation hearts. And you know how we used to go through and pick like the fun sayings, like, oh my gosh, that's so funny, be mine, whatever. So, conversation hearts. Who, comic book wise, it could be a comic book writer, artist, character. Who would you give a conversation heart to, and what would that conversation heart say?
Is like a literal sentence on these things, or
No,
is it?
it's got to be so short. Remember, it's like
Yeah.
be mine or like
Okay.
see you later or something like that.
Yeah.
I would definitely. Can I give it to a fake character? Does it have to be a real person?
Nope. You can do a character.
Well, definitely. I'm giving it to. I'll go. I'm going to give it to Zatanna, obviously, because I'm on the prowl and would love to get inside those fish nets, if you know what I'm saying. And I'm thinking mine would say something along the lines of like, it's got to be backwards, like a backwards word. So maybe like love me backwards. So like
Ooh.
Evil. Evil, and then it'd be like love me, and then she'd read it, say it backwards. Then it would be a magic word. It would cause a spell to be put on herself, and she would fall in love with me.
Gotcha. Tom, that was outstanding.
Yeah. I don't even I can't even think. I haven't even. It's been a minute since I've even seen these things.
They taste bad, them.
Chalky.
I know exactly what these are, but it's been since I was in seventh, not even like a fifth grader since I've even seen these things. So I guess you know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go very open ended with this one. I'm gonna go. We're gonna send Joshua Williamson, the author, the one, and it's gonna be me just saying, "Be seeing you." That's it, and he can just interpret it however he wants.
Yeah.
He'll probably put a restraining order on me. Just be seeing you. That's it. See you soon, man.
Just say, see you soon, buddy. Hey, see you soon.
If I were to throw one into the ring here, I was actually debating on a specific character, but I gotta say, just for quality of writing and everything, Jeff Lemire for sure is getting my conversation heart, and mine would just say something like "call me," just because I would love to talk to him and hear his approach to comic booking in general, like writing and everything, because he just crushes it time after time after time, and I love that. So.
Great answer, and you know what? He does crush it time after time after time. How is it that he can the things that he do be so good so often? It's pretty incredible. Love to see you on the Jeff Lemire bandwagon as well. That's always exciting. Since I was on it for so long without you, John, that
I know
makes me feel happy. And I did draw my heart, so this is what mine would say.
Hey, that's amazing.
Evol M. It's
like the Shining version of it.
Yep. Zatanna says it backwards, it becomes magical, guys.
Yeah,
so
true,
it's like
fair. This is fair.
Something I have to do.
This is amazing. All right, well, let's open this puppy up. It's Valentine's Day 2024, so without further ado, the best drum roll a guy can do on this poor glass desk. Hey everybody, it's a comic book look. It's your boy John on Demand, aka Johnny Locks, looking so fresh and so fly with this mighty mane. That was almost a loss of breath at the end. That's how long that was. But joined by co-CEO extraordinaire Tom Devine. There can only be one Midwest Highlander, Evil M, and of course the newest hot rod on the comic book look lot. Sam I Am is in the building, rocking and rolling. And also, you guys, we are proudly sponsored by Rainbow Comics. So if you're in the Sioux Falls area, stop by and say howdy to Sam Wednesday through Saturday. and he will definitely help you out with those comic book and sports card needs.
That's right.
Also, be sure to check out the Rainbow. Was it Wednesday Night Lights show Sam is on with Casey, just
Yeah.
highlighting various products. It's actually pretty humorous. Tune in, check it out. And then, really quick, just to give a shout out to the Rainbow down in Lincoln, Nebraska. Taylor and the team down there have just done a really excellent job. I actually get to see them a lot since I have family down in Lincoln, so it's a lot of fun to go check in with them and see how the team is doing down there. So, woo! But we are ready to rock and roll tonight with some Valentine's Day goodness. Before we jump into that, we hope that all of you are having a great day so far. Yeah, Sam has something really neat for us. So I'm going to turn it over to the man with the plan.
Yep. So I just kind of thought about this offhandedly while I was working one time. And one of our watchers, if she's watching, Blair, she already kind of has an inside look on whatever we're going to do here. Basically, the idea that I had was, you gentlemen, you two with me right now.
Oh,
yes,
me?
you guys. That, believe it or not, yeah, you guys.
believe it or not.
Yeah. You got. Let's just say you're in a world where you're still you guys. You have no powers, but you're dating an X-Man. Any one of them.
Okay.
Of any team, you can even pick a
Polaris.
villain. Which one are you choosing?
Polaris.
Which one do you think would be a good companion to you, and which one are you picking?
I'm picking solely on the color of hair of the person, and I'm choosing Polaris because ladies with green hair are super hot, and so
I did date one myself, so I can't deny.
yeah, exactly, Sam. You know what I'm saying, dude. So I'm definitely going Polaris. I don't think it would be a good relationship, really. I don't think we'd even get along. But if I get to pick it, no.
Who do you think would be like your actual companion, and who would be the one you'd be like, yeah, that one?
Yeah. I guess. Well, first of all, I would hope that my wife Jenna becomes a X-Men, and then I would choose her. But since she's not on the table, next up is Polaris. What do you choose, John?
So I was gonna say I didn't know that Ken joined the X-Men. I mean,
there you go.
Good save. Good
I like that.
What's your superpower, Ken? I collect things really good. I read. He could be like Cypher. He reads more on the internet than anybody else, so then he always knows things first.
He is the internet for real.
His power is Stephen King expert.
Exactly. But now that I've saved my bacon, I would suppose that my answer to this question, I don't know if this would be a good one or not, because last I left off with this Krakoa nonsense. Our boy Colossus is definitely having some issues right now, but I think it's like some sort of mind control going on at the same time too. But I gotta say, when he entered into that first Hellfire Gala with the goatee and stuff, I was like, I'm not upset about this at all.
Colossus,
but
yeah, dude.
but
he's a huge hunk.
There's that.
Pick, John.
He actually does art. He likes doing art, which I think is really cool. And I think that there's a lot to the character. I personally feel like I should read more like Excalibur V1, just to learn more about him as a character, maybe some of that older X-Men stuff too. But I don't know. He's always been, easy on the eyes. Would that be the best relationship? I don't know, because that guy's got a lot of drama. A lot of the X-Men do. So if I had to pick someone that would be maybe a good match, but I don't know. That's hard. It's like a big superpowered soap opera. Like they're all kind of,
Yeah.
No one's long term in the X-Men. I mean, it would be boring.
Yeah. I would be like yesterday's issues news. Like, be over. But Colossus for sure, man.
Exactly. Colossus? I say you just take him for both. He's your hunk and he's your long-term partner.
Well, I mean, shout out to Ken.
Shout out Ken, shout out Jenna. We got to remember that, first and foremost.
Yep. Sam, are you getting us in trouble?
How about you?
Is that what this is?
I mean, I didn't plan on that. For me, it's kind of a toss-up, honestly. I think the one that would work the best is Forge.
Oh,
nice.
Because I am the most inept when it comes to building and being a handyman. I am the worst. And Forge is the best at doing that. And you know what? I think we would just work out really well because I like every time I've read Forge, he's kind of he was never really about the people. He was more about like, but look at the machines I'm building.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I could
he's
be,
still
I could be,
slick.
I could be all about the people for him. So he could just go. He could be like, he could be that guy who just kind of works on his car for the weekend, basically. And I would be his partner who goes like, oh, don't worry about him. He's harmless. So that would be Forge would probably be the one that would work best for me. But if I'm going to go for something that's hot and messy, I'm going to go for we're going to go X-23.
Oh wow. Okay.
Because that's a lot of trauma. There's probably new memories unlocked every other day. I'm like, hey, how are you doing, honey? And she goes, I just remembered I had to kill a bunch more of my clones. They repressed that memory in me. And I'm like, oh, that's great. But and then there's other times where she'd probably be like fiercely loyal to me, where someone's like messing with me, and I'm like, yeah, that person's like cut up now. Like, don't mess with Sam now. He's protected.
Exactly. Freaking get a boot.
So like it would be crazy, and it probably would not work. But goddamn,
I love it. I think X-23 is a great choice. Obviously, she's a freak in the sack, right? It's going to be wild. Every time you have a 50% chance of getting stabbed with with one of her claws. And then, she's going to have some sort of crazy trauma in the middle of, you guys hanging out or whatever. And
absolutely.
Obviously could, kill you again there on accident. And then, she needs somebody though, because everybody leaves her, everybody treats her bad. And, she's been washed over and picked over throughout her whole life. So yeah, man, it's like, you know what, Sam, maybe X-23.
Maybe I can fix her, right?
And then you just call Forge over, and you just kind of all put your keys into one bowl. You put it away, and you see where the night takes you.
We had a little triad going on. Is what you're saying?
Oh my gosh!
Tell you what, let's have a fun one. Where do you think Mark would land on that? What's your perception on Mark?
First of all, Mark wouldn't even like answering the question, but then when he did, he would choose, I think, Rogue as his pick for who's he's going to be with. And then what were the two kind of categories again, Sam?
It's like the one that you're kind of fiending for, and the one that that's probably actually going to work. It's going to work out.
And I think the Rogue is the lust.
Yeah.
And then what do you think the one that the good relationship for Mark?
I'm leaning towards Storm.
Storm?
Yeah, Storm would be a great one.
I don't know why.
Nominate him though. Like
no, but I mean, well,
isn't that what we all want?
I mean, I asked around at the shop a few times to a few people, and everybody's like, the main answer was Storm and Rogue were the main two.
Yeah.
And maybe I just didn't like pick up on what everybody else was thinking, but I'm like, why is everybody like Rogue that much? What's there, man? Like, tell me.
I mean, is this a joke or?
This is not a joke. I legit was like, does everybody like Rogue for some reason?
Wow. Yeah.
Am I wrong? Well, like,
let me just give you one. Let me just show you something here.
All right. See it.
Because there's really only one reason all us kids who were alive in the early 90s like Rogue. And it's going to be right here, Sam.
Oh.
That luscious rump ass from the X-Men 90s cartoon.
It's been memed so many times.
It cannot be stopped.
The artist had a wonderful time drawing that, I imagine. Okay, well, I guess I see that. Like, all right. Funny. I just didn't see you as like, dude, you can't touch her. She's going to kill you.
That's also part of it. It's the draw to every female that's going to destroy you, but you still want her, or I shouldn't say female. You lust for that partner that you shouldn't have, and then when you get her, it's you just destroyed your life because she sucked all your life force out of you, and now she has a new mutant power. which
That's
is
how I'm with Dupe.
yours.
I'm that way with Dupe, the little booger man.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, those books are hilarious. They get going. Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, good question though, Sam. And
Yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there to see what
Yeah.
people thought. Like, where's everybody at? Where's everybody's like X-Men crushes at these days?
no, I thought that was good. No, yeah, I don't know. It's ironic that you chose that because those are kind of some of the books I read to discuss tonight on my side. So
Everybody's read some
Ooh.
X-Men. That's why I chose it.
Oh, really?
I mean, who has not read X-Men and been in comics? You know, like, what are you doing if you're not?
Yeah. It's been a while. I used to love it, right?
Like, everybody's read a section of like in a period of X-Men. I think.
Yeah, I think
Like,
I've read the first 500 issues.
Like, mine was right before the Krakoa era, when when they had like Rachel Gray. What's her name? Rachel Gray, the future daughter of Cyclops and Jean Grey is there, but there's also the young version of Cyclops, so she's technically older than her dad.
That's right. I remember.
Yeah, that was my era that I read the most.
Mm.
Where like Old Man Logan is the Wolverine and Bloodstorm is in there. It's a very weird book, very weird like time to be an X-Men reader.
Man.
When me and John were first doing this, I bought a CD off eBay that had scanned the first 300 issues of X-Men, and I'm assuming it was definitely illegal and you couldn't sell that on eBay now, but it was really handy, and that's how I read the first 300 issues. And it's funny because you get to a point, I think around 60 or 70. John has also read all these. John has a lot of them. Around 60 or 70 with the X-Men, it actually just starts doing reprints of the first ones again, and they just are even though it's like issue 60, it's actually just the same story that was in issue 12 through 21, and they just reprint them all with new covers. And I always think like, man, that's got to be a big bummer for the people that get that issue and they're like, you know, oh my God, I have this crazy original Stanley Jack Kirby original piece. And then it's like, yeah, you do, but it's actually it's a reprint. Still cool, obviously. But
that is weird. I'm surprised they got away with that for so long.
It's Marvel was doing that all the time. All of them were, you know. I mean, all of those. Archie still does it, you know, to this day. They always have reprints in their books.
You know, Archie is like, you could write the same, like Archie books have been the same thing for like 50 years.
Exactly.
It's just that the videos like. Yeah, there
Valentine's
you go.
Day special, man. I don't know if you guys caught it this year, but of course I'm going in hard on that Archie Valentine's Day special this year. Woo! And it is as good as can be. It's as fun as can be. Of course, Archie is like the best vehicle for this. So you know, but I don't know. I was like, I'm always disappointed when it is a lot of reprints, and I was pretty sure that's all new this time. Yeah, no reprints in this sucker. So that's always cool.
Can I do a quick tangent on Archie quick?
Oh, let's do it.
It's like 2 seconds, I swear. One of the my only Archie book that I have in my graphic novel collection is Archie versus Predator. And I finally gave that a read, and that is the funniest thing I've ever read in a long time. Like the Predator is in this, and that book legitimately should be called Veronica and Betty versus Predator, because Archie is hardly a figure in that.
Yeah.
But it's very funny, and like the characters go from like, oh, we're just a couple of teens, and they're like, I swear on the blood oath of the sword that I will quest my revenge. All right, back to being a teen. It's like, wait, hold on, slow down here. And then there's like the vile, awful murders of all your favorite characters, and then also, but then Veronica got stuff on her shirt. Oh no! It was a very weird little book, but I loved it.
Dude, hell yeah. Dude, I'm all into those funny crossovers. And Archie's, once again, the perfect avenue for dumb, silly crossovers.
They did a really good job with all that Halloween stuff too that I was loving last year, and I've actually been going through and catching up on filing and stuff, and I found the box of the kind of the V1s of these Archie horror things like Jughead the Hunger. So it wasn't
Dude,
even Archie
okay.
Comics horror yet. I think it was called something else first before they switched over to that. But I'm really looking forward to reading all that Vampironica, all that stuff.
So good.
Yeah, I'm pretty giddy. I'm trying to save it for like September, October, because that's when, the pumpkin spice ads are everywhere, and you're like, oh, it's a nice autumn day. I'm gonna read some Archie horror.
You dang right, man. That's perfect.
Absolutely, great idea.
So, boom.
So
All right,
are we
boys,
going to do
what's
a
next?
couple books then? Is that what we're doing?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Dude,
you got,
do it,
Sam?
Log.
You want me to do it? Start.
Yeah.
All right.
Sam, start already. God.
All right. My bad, guys. Dang. Let's do. We're going to start with the first one. So this is actually not a new book. This is something I just found randomly, and I picked it up off the off chance that the main character looked like Sir Topham Hatt.
Hell
I
yeah.
thought that was, and I thought that was funny. But it turns out I actually really enjoyed this story, and that is The Boz Chronicles #1.
The Boz Chronicles
The
#1.
Boz
What year is
Chronicles,
this from?
it's an Epics, Marvel Epics comic.
Huh.
Epic comic. This is,
80s?
from what I imagine this to be, it might be like Marvel's more like mature read, but not like obviously like pornographically mature, but more so just like more mature storytelling, partial nudity in there sometime maybe if it's like necessary or whatever. But this was really fun. The basic gist of this is that this Sir Topham Hatt looking fool right here with a tail is an alien, like an onion looking alien man, and he like lands in what looks to be like wherever the Cockney accent is in England area. And this whole book is written like how you would expect the Droogies to talk in Clockwork Orange. And what's really fun about it is like this like woman who is a lady of the night happens upon this alien, and he's about to end himself because he's all sad and lonely on this planet. And she goes, "Come on, get down from there." And then him being incredibly smart, like they start a detective business together, and she gets off the street from this, and she gets him to read a bunch of like mystery stuff. So he's all about being a detective now.
Huh.
And the story is literally just them taking a case that gets bigger and bigger as they go. And this is only issue 1, and they go after like an Illuminati-esque threat, and they solve it. And I was like, what? Like there's a whole thing about like the richest men in England or whatever, like finding a way to resurrect themselves and put themselves as the prime minister, and this alien dude who's a proper gentleman who never gets too angry about anything. Like he's like laser beamed. People fight him, but he's like, oh, this is such a bother. This is just beyond me. It's kind of like every like British comedy where they play off the idea that they're all just prim and proper in ridiculous situations, and I kind of love it. It's really fun. The main characters have a lot of character to them. The best character is her, though. She's the best character because she basically drives the book. He just kind of galumps around as she's kind of like, no, we got to go to the mystery this time, and she has to have to pull him off from being bored all the time because he's just like really needs a Ritalin prescription because he like constantly needs some form of entertainment. But it's a really fun little story. I'm glad I found this. I'm definitely going to be picking up the rest of this. It's only like a 6-issue miniseries.
That's cool.
Nice. Yeah.
Purely because I just thought the guy looked like Sir Topham Hatt from Thomas.
Can you show us some of the interiors?
Yeah, I can.
I was just curious. I really love the font for the book name. So I was just kind of curious to see what the interiors look like.
Can't show some of the interiors.
Oh, okay.
They're spicy?
A little spicy.
Okay.
Show us the fucking spicy shit.
You really want me to show you that?
I mean, we'll get.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
If
show
a
that,
Marvel
man.
comic is dropping dong, you have to show it on.
Is it how spicy is it? Is it full?
There's a.
Is it sainted love or whatever level?
Not that bad.
Oh, okay.
It's just like you see some naked ladies
Oh,
sometimes.
yeah.
But it's like it's
That's
a really
cool.
fun. It's a fun little book
Mm.
that in like the whole their whole thing is that they're like they have to pretend that they're like they're in charge in every position they're in.
Mm.
Like there's a spot in it where like the lady has to pretend she's a man in disguise at like in as a constable, and everybody's like, you don't look like a constable. But then she wins a arm wrestling match to get out of the situation by like putting makeup on the table so the hand slips so she looks like she's really strong.
Mm.
It's really fun. I had a great time with this. Next time I see the next couple issues, I'm definitely grabbing some of that up. Like here's the big onion man.
I mean, honestly, I've never heard of this, and it's very weird. Epic Comics made a bunch of cool comics. So sweet that Marvel produced these. Yeah, and then to pull up this book that came out like the year I was born, Sam.
1985.
Yep.
Woo.
So nice work, dude. And
Heck yeah.
and I definitely want to check that out too.
I'll lend you the copies if I find them all.
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. Tom, what you got?
I wanted to talk about Grixley, my favorite comic book that I can only get in the mail. Of course, it's back. I got issues 63 and 64 at the same time, and it did this cool cover.
Ba-ba-ba.
And it's a guest artist cover because this isn't even Nate McDonough who did this, so that was really cool. But we get a lot more stories of Nate picking up comics throughout different areas of the country. It seems to be that he is now moving to the West Coast, so he's kind of sometimes traveling back to Pittsburgh where he used to be picking up comics all the time, and then now, also he's in like Colorado, and it's a lot less populated with a lot less comic shops and a lot harder for him to find good deals and stuff like that. So tell some fun stories about that, and then the weird characters that he finds inside comic shops and the absurd owners, even more absurd patrons, and all of the off-kilter conversations that he comes across while he's doing his back issue digging, just trying to find comics that he can buy for $10 and sell for 20.
We are a rather absurd bunch, us comic lovers.
Yeah, exactly. We are. And then, like the different cliches too. There's you guys both worked at them, but conversations such as we've had earlier on who we think is hot in comics and, which one of these fictional characters we want to marry or we lust after. All of these really dumb conversations that us comic book fans seem to still have day in and day out and at the shop and all around it. And it's that same kind of stuff. So, yeah, I heavily relate. I love it. It's, I've told you guys that, and last year was like my favorite book coming out, and it still continues to be really, really good. Yeah. 63 and 64, I zipped right through them as soon as I got them. I actually was so tired because I'd been traveling that I was like, I don't know if I can push through, and I fell asleep in the middle of one of them, and then I like woke up a few hours later still in my chair and had it open. I was like, oh yeah, I have to start again because I don't remember what I've read.
Done that a few times.
Yeah.
Man,
yeah, it's great.
Yeah, but I love that you're like on the pulse for all these indie books, man. Like these like uber indie books. It's very cool that you do that.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. I wish I knew more, and I will pick up more, of course. And I would say Amanda at the shop did really surprise me. She got me an issue of Tongues I haven't read yet, but this is a book that I had bought and talked about before at when I went to that Minneapolis con, and I bought them from the dude, a few of them, and then now it's like on issue 6, so I've missed a few. But Amanda was like, "Oh, I think you're really gonna like this one. It seems to be up your alley." And then I was like, "I already have that." "Oh no, I don't have that. I've never seen this cover." And yeah, so I was really hyped for that one.
That's awesome.
Yeah. From what I saw from the quick quick in and out that you were in there because it was a very busy time when you came in.
Yeah, it was, Sam. You were
yeah.
freaking swamped, bro.
I was a fly buzzing around that whole place. It looked very abstract. Like I felt like it looks like one of those like detective books where like all the pages are in different spots and you had to like put it all together and solve the mystery of the book or something. It looked kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely cool. It's cool formatting. Like I want to do this in sport too, but they like have a different color page even with a weird print on for no apparent reason. You know, different things showing in different areas. A lot of design oriented stuff. It's just a very cool. It's a cool book.
Yeah, it's important to play with the medium.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, because if everybody sticks to like the 9-panel grid, then there's no innovation in books, and that's when you get stagnant. So it's good to have books like that.
Exactly, and not everybody is Alan Moore, so it's like we don't want 9-panel grids from you because we already know somebody who does it 1,000 times better than you could ever even attempt to. And then it's like the same thing with straightforward comics. It's like, look, there's so many good people doing straightforward comics. It's like you have to come out and then compete with Jeff Lemire and James Tynion and these Tom King, these guys who are like, guess what? They're at the top of their craft. Their swords are sharp, and they're freaking cutting out new comics all the time. So it's like, yeah, if you want to do something different, you want to impact, it's very smart for you to play with the medium in a different type of way to try to get some eyes on you. I feel.
Well, heck yeah. Well, I don't know how in the world I'm supposed to follow up on that. I'm going to do my best here, but I have been going through and sorting my books as of late, which is a tidal wave of them. But I remember picking these up, and my logic with it was I wanted to read some of the add-ons to some of these 90s events. So this is taking me back to 1997, and we are talking Wolverine issues 116 through 118, dealing with Operation Zero Tolerance. Oh no. So this was kind of a side story. I had collected all the Uncanny X-Men. This is where we meet Marrow, Dr. Cecilia Reeves, Maggot with the 2 slugs. The humans were being turned into Sentinels. They were unsuspecting, just unassuming attackers that would just go roar at mutants right away. But this event shook the Marvel universe in a really big way. And at the time, this came into an era where we were used to the big robot Sentinels and the clumsy like Atari graphic Nimrod Sentinel. But now you have people that can turn into Sentinels and just come out of nowhere. And so it's a really interesting three issue thing. I like things like this where I don't feel like I have to read the rest of Wolverine with this. Yeah. And this truly is kind of a sub arc. If this was maybe a set at like a comic shop, I could see that selling because it really is just kind of a mini series. And I actually have come to appreciate mini series a lot more now, so that way I can get a good quality story without having to subscribe for 2 years. And as you can see, my collection has decided on violence because it is all over the place. You should see the living room.
It's in the living room, huh, John? It's now tidal waved out. Ken, yes, you will have to deal with my comic collection. Why I reorganize it. Deal with it.
Yeah. So it's a situation.
You got to make it a mess before it makes sense.
Yeah,
mine is my whole basement. Oh.
It's definitely getting better. But no, it was really fun to read those though, and it just took me back to the main book. So it was nice to kind of get that extra content. So that's my reason why I bought these. I probably got these about a year ago. So it's kind of fun to finally get around to them. But
is Zero Tolerance did you guys read that event at all?
I did. That was when I was first collecting.
Is that the one where Jubilee gets crucified?
No.
Oh, okay.
So she gets captured because why wouldn't she, right? It feels like every event she gets captured. Jubilee gets captured all the time, man. Look, even check this out. Even in that book recently where it's Jubilee, Dazzler, Boomer, and X-23, what happens? They get captured.
Yeah, well,
completely forgot about that book. Oh my god.
Well, when your superpowers are so vague that no one actually knows what they do, but we do know that there's sparkles involved in him. Yeah, you tend to get captured a lot.
So she's had some cool moments too over the years, like in Generation X and stuff like that. But
doesn't she still have like a baby?
right. So
Is
that
it like Shogo or whatever his name is?
yeah, which that turns into a big dragon in the
What?
Excalibur. Yeah,
Sorry.
it's the thing.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's what's that book called, man? Not Excalibur, but Knights of X or whatever.
Okay.
And there's like different story arcs of it, like right, or the last one they did was like Captain Britain and the whatever, you know. So it's yeah, it kind of starts and stops. And the Shogo's such a weird character. I'm not familiar with where this baby came from at all. But it's okay.
Like, wasn't she a vampire too? Like,
Julie was a vampire. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
The
It's
only
just-
time she was cool, in my eyes. Obviously, she's a lot of people's favorite character, so I definitely am saying that with a lot of joking behind it. And I am an X-Men of the '90s fan as well, so of course I still love Jubilee.
And
well, she was the ride along character, right? Like she took the place of Kitty Pryde as your ride along character.
yeah.
Yep.
Like as like,
Exactly.
hey, you want to read Wolverine? Well, you can, and you are Jubilee in this case, kind of thing, you know.
Boom. Also, shout out to what is it, X-Men '97 on Disney Plus, coming up soon.
Yeah, coming
Oh,
out
yeah,
soon.
coming
Can't
out,
wait.
yeah.
I am definitely excited for that.
Yep, me
All
too.
right, I got one more round of books on my side here. So Sam, what's
So nail it, Sam.
Mine is gonna be a book that I was wondering when the hell it was gonna come out, because it kept like one book came out and like 2 months later it was like, oh, we finally got the second one. Vengeance of Moon Knight 2.
Oh,
This
okay.
is basically the sequel series / the continuation of the previous Moon Knight run,
Mm-hmm.
and this one is the first issue was really cool because it literally just like, did you like the last run?
Yeah.
Great. You'll like this one. It's literally just more of it, and so I really enjoyed the first one, and it kind of has a good premise to why it felt like it needed to end and restart again, other than just feeling like they needed to do new number one just for the sake of it. And I can't wait to dig into this one. Like Moon Knight has been very good, been a very good read lately. It's like if you're a Moon Knight fan, like this is the time. Be reading it right now. Get on board when it's hot, because otherwise, this is probably going to be a run later that everybody's going to be like, "Oh, you need to read that right now," and then you're going to have to like find 30 issues. Good luck.
Exactly. It's going to be canceled if people don't read it too. And
Yeah.
so if you get a good character like Moon Knight to get a new series after they've just had a good series, you got to keep reading that sucker. So yeah, I love, Sam, that you are always the big evangelist for this series.
It's so good, and they're actually like keeping they're using Hunter's Moon in like events now, even and stuff. It's very cool. It's like, excuse me, you're actually using the things in the Moon Knight book? Okay, color me surprised.
Hell yeah.
It only makes
Cool, man.
sense because like Judd McKay is writing the newest events coming out, and he wrote that book, so of course he's going to implement the things he made. It makes sense. I do the same.
Heck yeah. Tom, what you got?
Next book I have, I want to keep it Valentine's Day. So, and I have, Godzilla -1 came out not too long ago, got me on the Godzilla train. I had never watched really any of Godzilla, so I said, fuck it. 39 films starting at the first one and going to make my way all the way through. I'm at about the 13th or 14th where it's called Godzilla versus Gigan is the one that I'm at right now. Real sci-fi one. So I haven't finished it, but it's been really fun. So now, I'm 13 movies in. I got a really good handle on these. I've talked to you guys a little bit about it. So then now when, Godzilla is around me, I feel like, well, I want to be around Godzilla as well. My dog G has got to be around. So when there's a Godzilla Valentine's Day special one shot, yes, that means it's made
you're
for me.
you're on a date with him.
Exactly. It's because Godzilla loves me and he made this comic for me.
Oh, good.
It's a one shot too, which John knows because I've talked about it forever, just how much I love a one shot. But it's good. It tells a different story It tells a story about Godzilla in Barcelona, which you guys know I was just there. So there was a lot of connections. It's like it was very strange. Like,
Yeah, that book's made for you.
yeah, you just happen to be starting to be getting super into Godzilla, and you are in Barcelona, and you get this comic right all around the exact same time. It was serendipitous. The comic actually wasn't that great, but it was fine, and it was fun. The idea of it was still so fun, and I love to see these publishers having a little bit of fun and with their books and putting out a one-shot love story starring Godzilla, outside of Tokyo, or Japan in general. It was awesome. It's a perfect Godzilla Valentine's Day special. So yeah, and
Who
because
wrote
it's our
that?
last, I do just want to shout. Oh, go ahead, Sam. Sorry.
Who wrote that?
We got Tunnel, so Zoe Tunnel, and art by Sebastian Perez, colors by Rebecca Nolte, letters by Joanna Natalie, edited by David Moret.
See, those are all farce though, because I know who wrote that book. His name's Tom Devine.
Oh, okay.
You wrote
That's
that in
funny.
the
I
future.
didn't know.
The book is in the past now.
I found that time machine. Yes.
Yeah.
I got in this time machine just so I could write this Godzilla comic book. But I did just want to point out that this dude must be on the rise. I keep on picking this up. Shout out to Oni Press putting out really cool stuff. This is Faceless in the Family. It is really, really good. I've talked about it a few different times. But then there was another Image comic today, The Deviant or something like that had a alternative cover that had this same style on it, and I was like, oh, that's got to be the same guy. I looked in, and it was. So it's cool to see him get have this such a unique style, have a book coming out from Oni, but still having these other creators noticing them, and then asking Matt Lewinsky for a to do a alternative cover for them. So it's really cool to see unique art spreading throughout the industry always. So
absolutely,
shout out,
dude. Heck yeah. Well, my last slew of books of the week. You guys know I love some event tie-ins, and so what do the Incredible Hulk, Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, the Invincible Iron Man, and Fantastic Four have in common? Kicking us back to 1996, I want to say. We have the Onslaught event tie-ins that I haven't read yet.
That was just, I'm pretty sure it happens right, what were we just talking about? That X-Men tie-in, Onslaught, it's the Onslaught miniseries, or the Onslaught goes into Zero Tolerance.
Yeah. They're almost back to back.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it's like now you're in prequel mode since you already read Zero Tolerance. You're going into that
first and the second. Oh my god. It was so funny though, you guys. I mean, there's some moments in here where it's just like, oh, that 90s. Like everyone has that same flowing hairstyle that Cyclops did, like dudes with their long bangs and stuff. It's so funny. It honestly, it was really fun just to see the different avenues of Marvel Comics of what's going on. We even got to see Ben Reilly Spider-Man on here because he was rocking the mantle at the time while Peter Parker was not.
The worst Spider-Man,
bro. And that he had that bleach blonde hairstyle in this book too, and I was like, wow, that's rad. Okay, ultimately this was a lot of fun. I will say the funniest part about all this was in the different books, seeing the different artist renditions of the Sentinel robot and how they're all supposed to be the same timeline, but like they're different colors sometimes and different in general. And I'm like, oh, those must be Wave 2. I don't know. Truly a neat event, and one that just takes me back. This really started right when I started collecting comics, and so these were just issues I've never had a chance to check out, but I did have the majority of the story through all my X titles. So glad I had a chance to read them, though. It's nice to kind of get through some of that bulk, because I buy everything for a reason. I just don't have time to get to it. So.
Dude, so sick. I mean, yeah, Zero Tolerance. Onslaught's better than Zero Tolerance. So it's like, yeah, that's a fun one to get through for sure. But I do remember Ben Reilly. Man, what a shitty Spider-Man. You know, and then at that time, the Marvel editors are floundering, right? They're getting their ass kicked by Image. All of their creators have left and are making millions of dollars doing these other books. You know, they're trying to get back. The industry is collapsing after the collecting boom of the late 80s and early 90s. And that's where these books came from, which are the ones that me and John were born into. And then I love that, you know, they all do have shitty colors, and it is the dumb versions. And like they were trying so many different things with with so many different artists and trying to pump out so many books that the editors couldn't keep up. So yes, all the Sentinels do look different, even though they're supposed to be the same. Yeah. Love that time too, John.
It's so funny. Yeah, but I just kind of was like, oh, this is the way. That's fine. Yeah, it was a good little stack to read over the past 2 days. It's been nice to kind of sit back down and plug back into comics a little bit. So the more I get my little collection under control here, then we'll start rocking and rolling with some of the newer stuff.
Hell yeah!
I just love that you live in Whim City. It sounds so fun.
What?
Whim City, you know, like you're just reading by your whims.
Oh yeah, I mean, well,
City.
it's a naughty thing though when you try to run multiple streams about comic books. We'll put it that way. Yeah. The other thing I wanted to lift up, I see that spork back there, and I just wanted to lift up that we have our first Ashcan out. So Bamboo Panel Studios Ashcan. Very excited about that. Definitely, there are some. We still have some. Randy and I both have some on hand, but not very many. And then I know that a few have made it down to Nebraska and Sioux City. So I know for sure Starfighter Comics in Sioux City has a couple on hand if they haven't sold out already. I haven't checked. But definitely very excited about that. Oh, Spencer! I love Spencer, you guys. Spencer is the king of all things Lantern. He knows his stuff. Spencer, you got to come on the show sometime and give us the brief about Green Lantern. Will you do that?
We actually just have like every time he comes in, it's we'll have like about a 15-minute conversation about like Green Lantern, because I read a lot of Green Lantern myself, and we're just like, so where are you on that? And he goes like, oh, I think that was dumb. Like,
can we do that around like St. Patty's Day?
We'll see. That'd be a great idea.
Spencer, come on the show, St. Patrick's Day or somewhere around there, and we'll do a green show, and we'll come up with tons of green.
We'll have green beers and two.
Boom. This is the way. All right, Spencer, we just need a thumbs up in the comments. Let us know. Hit me up. Oh!
Yo!
We're doing this. All right, we'll see you next month, Spence. Spencer, I can help you out with that. They're running 5 Dolores. So we can settle it up, or you can just buy me a coffee sometime. We can call it even, whatever you want to do. Other than that, I didn't have anything particularly new to lift up, except just really wanted to commend both of you, for helping keep things rocking and rolling here. And it's, like I said, it's fun for me to kind of get plugged back into actively reading more and more. And so I'm excited to hit those pages and get it going. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Back at you, John. Thanks for keeping this rocking and rolling. I've been gone for a fucking month. So, it's good to be back on the show. It's good to see you, Johnny boy. Been able to see Sam a couple times, but yeah, of course, good to see you too, Sam. So,
of course, always
love hanging.
Boom. And then, other than that, I don't.
I was on Fat Dude Digs Flicks yesterday. So, check out that. There's a podcast in Sioux Falls called Fat Dude Digs Flicks. He's a friend of the show, Andy.
Yeah.
Is John's known for a long time and had him on a comic book look like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I was just on his podcast. We talked about the 80s canon movie Runaway Train. So yeah, check it out. That should be on.
Heard of that one? Yeah.
Dude, heck yeah. On that note, I would be in big trouble then if I didn't mention I was on Screams from the Basement a couple weeks ago. We talked about Hellboy 2 and Blade 2, which was it was very entertaining how it was funny because what was it? Hellboy 2 calls out Blade 2 in a news marquee in the movie, like literally name drops it and everything. It's brilliant. So that was a fun show. Shout out to Sam and Casey from Screams from the Basement. I know too many Sams and too many Caseys. But
Yeah, we are.
definitely,
There's already other ones have been shouted out. That's funny.
definitely check that out as well. Screams from the Basement, you guys, great guys.
Oh, cool, Sean. I didn't know you were on there. I'm definitely gonna be listening to that like
Yeah.
tomorrow morning. So that's sick.
So yeah. Well, cool. Well, that is it for me. Sam, what you got to lift up?
I got nothing.
You tapped.
That's
Sam,
it.
that was
That's
a
it.
great
That's all we
activity.
need, man.
Sam, that was a great.
Hey, how about
activity.
this? I got something we could uplift here.
Ooh.
You know, there's this like there's this stream. You know, it's called Comics by Night.
Hey,
I don't know
come
if- I
on,
don't-
stop it.
I don't know if you ever heard of that. You know, it's where this fine gentleman. I don't know if you've heard of him. His name's John. He sometimes will just review horror books.
Sometimes.
You know, occasionally, whenever he's got time to, he'll do it. It's a fantastic little stream. If you like a little eerie, a little scary, something little spooky pants a little bit.
And a little sexy host. Al, at the
Yeah,
same
that's right.
time.
That's right. Now, that's something I think you should jump into something like that.
Well, I
That's
appreciate
what I would say.
It is going to be coming back. The crypt will be open once again. Because I am personally very excited to hit back into those pages too, because that was the ones I did read from the 60s were so rad. And the response was great. I mean, I had people messaging me and stuff too, and it's just so fun to see what people are interested in, you know. So more to come on that as well. I still have my roses here, so they're waiting for the next one. But yeah, well, you guys, we will see. We will aim for next week then. Round up, talk some more books, and Spencer, we will be hitting you up for March. I think this is a brilliant theme, and I think we should green it out. That'd be great. So that means I can't wear this alligator Loki shirt now until then. I gotta get something new on. Before we shut it down, we are a comic book look proudly sponsored by Rainbow Comics. So fast forwarding, if you're in the Sioux Falls area, Wednesday through Saturday, see Sam. If you're in the Lincoln, Nebraska area, stop by and see Taylor and the team down there. They're amazing. And both shops will help you out with those comic book needs. On the socials, we are @ a comic book look all collective. You can see I am @ John on Demand and @ Tom Stu Divine from Mr. Tom. On the TikToks, Sam is the only hip one here. With @ Nullman12. That's not true, Tom. You have a TikTok account.
I'm on TikTok. I follow
Yeah,
two
he
people.
finally, yeah.
Sam and like one other person, maybe
Yeah.
my dog.
Yeah. There you go. And then shout out to Mark. He wasn't able to be here tonight. Mark's been just really holding the channel down too, and is just an amazing dude. So also Mark legit got us video play in a shop that he shops at. So we're on this loop kind of thing, and it's actually really cool. So I feel kind of syndicated. I don't know. It's kind of cool. We have a lot of exciting things in store for this year, including our branding makeover, which is still happening. So looking forward to that. And yeah, more to come. So I guess until next time, I say keep it comics. And then Sam, I gotta hear this.
All right, so it's nothing's boring about bagging and boarding. Is that what it is?
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Nothing's boring about bagging and boarding.
Can we just bootleg Mark?
And the Chinese knockoff.
Oh my
It's
god.
begging and boarding is
Never boring.
never boring.
Yeah.
I'll probably remember
Boring is
it right
never
after the stream, and then it
Oh my gosh, she's gonna love that one. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye. And then I hit the